In a world that's just buzzing with notifications and a million different things demanding our attention, the ability to truly focus, well, it's basically becoming a superpower. So today, we're diving into Cal Newport's game-changing idea of deep work. He argues it's pretty much the essential skill for anyone who wants to do more than just survive in our chaotic modern world.
Okay, let's just start with a question that I'm guessing is going to hit close to home for a lot of you. Do you ever have those days where you're just constantly going, answering emails, jumping on calls, putting out fires? The day just flies by, but then you get to the end of it and you kind of look back and think, wait, what did I actually get done today? That feeling right there, that gap between being busy and actually being productive, that's exactly what we're going to tackle.
So let's break down the two big ideas here. On one side, you've got deep work. Think of this as getting into a state of pure, distraction-free concentration. It's the stuff that pushes your brain to its limits, the work that creates real value and makes you better at what you do. And then you've got the other side, shallow work. This is all the logistical stuff, the tasks you can do on autopilot, usually while you're half distracted anyway. And the big problem is, our world is basically engineered to keep us swimming in that shallow end. And that brings us to what Newport calls the modern work paradox. It's a real head-scratcher. The ability to do that deep, meaningful work is becoming more and more valuable, yet our modern workplaces are making it almost impossible to actually do it. So what are the culprits? Oh, they're going to sound super familiar. We're talking about open office plans that are basically distraction factories. We're talking about the culture of instant messaging, where you feel like you have to reply right now. And of course, that constant pressure to be on and maintain a social media presence, which just yanks you away from what really counts. And all of this leads us right into a really dangerous trap. See, when it's hard to measure what real productivity looks like, we start faking it. We default to what Newport calls busyness as a proxy for productivity. It means we start mistaking all that visible activity, like how fast you can answer an email, for actual valuable work. It feels like you're being productive, but really it's just a performance. It's not progress. And why is this such a big deal? Well, because in the economy we live in right now, there are two abilities that are absolutely critical for success. First, the ability to learn complicated things fast. And second, the ability to produce work at an elite level, both in quality and speed. And guess what? Both of those things depend entirely on your capacity for deep work. So how do we fight back? How do we reclaim our focus? Newport gives us 4 rules, and we're going to start with the first one. Work deeply. Now, this isn't about just gritting your teeth and trying harder. No, this is about completely restructuring your work life to make that deep, focused work the priority. It's about becoming an architect of your own focus. And the key here is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. You have to pick a philosophy that actually works for your life. For instance, the bimodal approach could mean you dedicate, say, 3 days a week to intense, deep focus, and the other 2 days are for all that shallow stuff. Or you could try the rhythmic approach, which might be as simple as blocking off the first 90 minutes of every single day for your most important project. No matter which one you choose, the goal is always the same. Be intentional. Now, to make any of this stick, you've got to support it. You need to build rituals, like having a specific place and time for deep work. That way, you don't burn through all your willpower just trying to get started. And seriously, don't forget about downtime. Your brain absolutely needs time to recharge. Newport even suggests using grand gestures, like booking a hotel for a weekend just to work on a project, to really signal to your brain that, hey, this is important. All right, next up, we have rules 2 and 3. And these are all about the mental side of things. It's one thing to schedule time for deep work, but it's another to actually have the mental chops to do it when the time comes. We've got to train our attention. Think of it like building a focus muscle. Seriously, I want you to think about this for a second. When was the last time you just let yourself be bored? You're in line at the grocery store, waiting for a friend to show up. What's the first thing you do? If your immediate instinct is to whip out your phone, you might be accidentally wrecking your ability to concentrate. Newport's advice here is kind of radical for our times. Embrace boredom. Because here's the science of it. If every single moment of potential boredom is immediately filled with a little hit of stimulation from your phone, your brain actually gets rewired. It literally starts to lose the ability to sustain focus. Resisting that urge and just letting your mind wander That's like weight training for your attention span. It makes your focus muscle stronger.
So, a super practical way to start this training is to try Newport's 30-day social media detox. Just 30 days. After the month is up, you ask yourself two really simple questions. First, was my life meaningfully worse because I couldn't use these services? And second, did anyone important to me even care that I wasn't on them? The answers, they might just surprise you. And that leads us to the fourth and final rule: drain the shallows. This one is all about being absolutely ruthless. It's about identifying and systematically reducing all those low-value, shallow tasks that just eat up our time and energy. It's about clearing out the clutter to make room for what matters. For most of us, if we're being honest, this balance is completely backward. Our days are just dominated by shallow work, the constant emails, the meetings about the meetings, the busy work. And that leaves us with these tiny, broken up little fragments of time for the deep work that actually moves the needle. The whole goal here is to flip that ratio on its head. So how do you actually do it? Well, Newport lays out a 4-step plan. First, schedule every single minute of your day. Now, this isn't about being a robot. It's about being intentional. Second, figure out how deep your tasks are. Ask yourself this question: how long would it take to train a smart college grad to do this for me? If the answer is not very long, guess what? It's shallow work. Third, try to set a shallow work budget with your boss. And finally, number 4, finish your workday on time. Having a hard stop forces you to be ruthless about prioritizing what's truly important. Okay, so you do all this, you put in the hard work, you architect your focus, you train your attention, you drain the shallows. What's the reward? What's the big payoff? Well, it's about so much more than just getting more things done. It's really about transforming the entire quality of your life, both at work and outside of it. I love this quote from the book because it really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just another productivity hack. It's about making a fundamental shift. It's about leaving the frantic, distracted masses and joining the focused few. And making that leap, well, it can have a profound impact on everything. Ultimately, Newport's biggest argument is that deep work isn't just for professional success. It's for human flourishing. The deep satisfaction that comes from true craftsmanship, from intense focus, from creating something of value, that's a core part of a meaningful life. Because in the end, who you are and what you experience is the sum of what you focus on. So a deep life is a good life. So I'll just leave you with this one last thing to think about. Forget your endless to-do list for just a second. If you could somehow find and protect just 100 hours of pure, uninterrupted, deep focus, what could you build? What big problem could you solve? What new skill could you master? The potential is just immense.